How do we inspire leaders to go on this journey to make business a force for good in the world? Conscious capitalism is a movement started by a number of CEOs who sat around for a few days and sort of said, we think there's a better way of doing business in the world. Someone has to stand up and let the world know this. Now, these companies were companies like Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, Patagonia, Starbucks, Southwest Airlines. So at the core of conscious capitalism was, how do we bring these people together and have them share their stories about what they were doing and help inspire the next generation of CEOs that were thinking of going on this journey? Now, in doing that, we came up with what we thought were 4 commonalities that we saw across these companies. One is that they believed that purpose was important, that businesses do fundamentally have a higher purpose. And the first stage is just being willing to go and try to discover your purpose. And we use the word discover in a way that implies that it's already there and you're trying to find that essence of why this organization was founded and bring it to life. Then the second stage becomes one of, how do I make it relevant, credible, and believable inside my organization? So how do I connect to my people? By making it relevant. They can look at it and say, oh, I can see how what I do connects to this. So you're asking me to believe in this purpose, and I can see how what I do every day lines up with that. Can I make it credible? Can I make it credible because you can see that the decisions that we're making at the top of the organization around where we're spending our money, where we're investing, where we're cutting costs, those are consistent with what we're saying is important in terms of our purpose. Then the third item is, how do you make it believable? And the believable bit becomes how your leaders show up. How your top leadership team and the next couple layers in the organization show up, the way they interact with people, the stories they tell about what we're trying to do with purpose, that needs to be consistent and it needs to be coherent with the business strategy and the way the leaders are showing up. When you get that, you get a believability factor. And then over time, how do we start to institutionalize this into our organization? How do we make it a part of how we evaluate people, how we hire people, how we train and develop people, how we promote people, align it with our compensation and all those kinds of things? The interesting piece that often sets this off is the recognition that as we move into the 21st century, we're living in an incredibly disruptive marketplace and time. Executives are looking at that and they're sort of saying, okay, in the 90s and the noughts, we did that by, pushing more money, being flashy, branding and other things. And it got us to a certain level, but it's no longer working. And that's where purpose now becomes the wedge issue of, one, do we take it seriously? And then, how far into the ocean are we willing to go on that journey?